We are family. Why am I being left behind? Yes, we are family today,
Lord
guys.
have
I am
mercy.
so excited. This is the episode you guys have been waiting for. We have our first guest, and they're special guests.
Yes,
right?
very special.
Very special guests.
Yes,
This
plural.
podcast would not be what it is without them.
No, there would be no blending.
There would be no blending.
There would be no bonus.
No bonus.
Huh?
No nothing. Guys, guess who we have today? We got the girls.
Hey, guys.
We're so excited. Guys, are you excited?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, we have so much to talk about today. And guys, I'm just so happy to have them here because now you're going to hear from them. You've heard from Greg and I. We've talked about our lives and how we got to this point. But now we're here to talk about them, what it's all about. And they're able to help you all, and not just you all, but your kids,
Sure.
Your teenagers, that may be going through this exact same thing. So once again, I am your host, Leslie Kirkland, and this is your co-host, Mr. Greg Kirkland, and we are what? My Dope Blend podcast. You can see us on all social media platforms. My Dope Blend podcast on IG. I am the Bonus Club on IG, TikTok, and you can also see us on our YouTube channel. Guys, are you ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm so ready
Let's
for
get
this.
into
Oh my
it.
God. There's going to be a lot of emotion. I can tell already in the room, but and you guys probably hear it,
Okay.
but all right. So I want to introduce them and I'm going to let them kind of say who they are. We have our oldest, Kirsten Kirkland.
Hey, guys.
We have our youngest daughter, Kyla Kirkland.
Hi.
And guess what? Both of them are now college students, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Are you guys excited about it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a change.
I
It's a
am.
new thing for you guys. Yeah, we are excited from that standpoint. So I want to dig into it because I want the people to hear from you all. I don't want to be the one to take up much of the time. I want you all to do it. So everything you guys have heard, with our podcast, with our episodes, have been around you all, what it was like getting into this place where we are right now. So I guess my first question, and I want you guys to be honest, be truthful, transparent, raw. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about your dad. Just tell the truth, okay?
All right.
What is blended to you?
I feel like for me, when I think like blended, I think like multiple different people because like when you blend different things, you're blending a bunch of different ingredients. You have your wet ingredients, dry ingredients, like when you're baking and stuff. So I think it's just mixing a bunch of different personalities and like backgrounds and like, I don't know, just that mixture.
You're
Kyla?
such a scientist.
Yes, first
All
of
right.
all,
Wet
that's her
ingredients,
major.
dry ingredients. I mean,
All right,
I've
Dad.
never
All
even
right.
thought of that.
Kyle, what are your thoughts?
I would say, to me, it's like, I don't know, having, I don't,
Would you agree with your sister?
yeah, she basically put it
Into
to what I
words?
was thinking, yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't really know how else to say it.
So now that you guys have, I guess explained in your mindset what blended looks like, and it's taking, all the ingredients and putting it to one. In our situation, it was taking personalities, people, all of that, and making one big family. From that, though, came a divorce
Mhm.
that you all experienced in order to create this newness, right? So we're going to go a little bit backstory a little bit, because I want to hear from you all. We've expressed our thoughts on, divorce and all of that. I came in on the tail end of that. But you guys went through it and experienced all the ebbs and flows. So you want to talk about that? You want to tell me how you felt? And I don't care who talks first, but what did that
You want to go first?
What did that feel like for you all? And be honest, because other kids are listening.
Well, for me, I feel like I was still young, so I don't remember much.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was a lot for our age, trying to connect with a new person while also trying to be loyal to our mom. Like, so yeah. What do you say?
I also really don't remember it. I remember crying a lot, like the biggest crybaby ever. Yeah. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a quick connection because
we technically met you first.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
We
wanted
got-
you to buy our picture.
Yeah, so yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
So why don't y'all tell that story? Why don't you tell the story of how you guys met Miss Leslie?
Miss Leslie.
Miss Leslie.
So so basically what had happened was we used to go to rehearsals with our dad, and we went to one rehearsal and we were drawing pictures, and we went up to people to like sell our pictures, and we went up to her and she was like, yeah, I'll buy a picture. So then
see, I help the kids.
So then like whenever we would go to rehearsal or like church or whatever, we always were like, let's go sit with Miss Leslie.
Well, here's the question. Did she ever pay you for the picture?
Now, why
No,
would you
we
go
never
there?
got
You know,
paid.
we never got our payment,
never got-
but like, you know, over the years, she's made up
I think
for
it's
it.
Thank
added
you.
up.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Kirsten.
Okay.
I have definitely
That was
made
a
up
nice
for
save.
it. Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Nice
Yeah,
save.
maybe it has added up.
Yeah,
She's
thank
made
you,
up
Kyla.
for it.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like, because a lot of kids, I feel, don't have the opportunity to set the tone for how they engage with their new bonus parent. And I think you guys were afforded a great opportunity to create and set your own tone with me. Because you guys didn't know that we were dating.
Facts.
But do you feel like your liking to me was based completely on your own and had nothing to do with your dad prior to y'all finding out?
I do.
What about you?
I think that maybe like even though we met you 1st, we got closer because of my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I can understand that. I can understand that. But I think what was helpful in it is it wasn't forced. Because we had already been dealing with each other, it wasn't, oh, you gotta get to know her, you gotta like her, because you guys were already kind of setting that you know, that what is the word I'm looking for? Pace already. With that. And I think a lot of kids don't get that opportunity. They come in on the tail end of it. So now that we have kind of told you guys that story, which we have told you guys that story before, but you were able to hear it from them. Do you think it's beneficial for the kids to be allowed to set their own tone?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Tell me why.
Because if you're forced into something, then it's like you don't get the chance to, what do you call it?
Organically?
Yeah, you don't get to form your bond. Basically what you said, organically. It seems kind of rushed and
or forced.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to like anybody, but it kind of feels like you have to like them because all of a sudden your parents are in a relationship and like this person is going to be around all the time. So you're like, ugh, okay, I guess I have to like them.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to make your own decision to like them.
And while you're trying to do that, you're also trying to understand your own emotions, right? Yeah. And you're growing. So it's like, what is happening at this time?
So
go ahead. Babe.
So I have a question. So you guys never felt like you had to like her because she and I was together?
Ooh.
I really don't think so. For me, I don't think so.
Go ahead, Kyla. I think for you and I, it was different.
Yeah, I think for us, it was different.
How so?
Go ahead.
Because I feel like with Kirsten and Michelle like instantly clicked. But we had I think we had like kind of a rough start.
We did.
Well, explain. Like, in other words, when I say explain, why do you feel like you had a rough start? Or even better, what was a rough start for you?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember, Kyla?
I don't really remember. Do you remember?
I do. I actually, on an episode, talked about it. And I felt like I didn't know how to get through to you. Because you and your dad have a connection of y'all laughing, y'all crack jokes. That's just y'all thing. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have that. Kirsten is the girly girl. And like, it was, I want to see what she's wearing. I want to do this. So it was immediately that with us. She's emotional. She's this. You internalize a lot of things. So I didn't know how to connect. Like, what is that thing that really brings us together? And I'm about to do it again.
Don't you cry.
And it wasn't until I shared it. It was a moment that you and I shared. And you said to me, you said, "Oh, you like this?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "You should, this is what you should do." And you was like, "Okay." And it literally was an icebreaker for us. Like, an icebreaker. You have no idea how that made me feel. And I'm about to get teary-eyed because something else that like made me feel like, okay, she does. We've come a long way. When you told me when you were graduating your senior walk or something at the school, and you said, when they said, well, you were graduating, what your major is going to be. And afterwards, you came to me and you said, "Did you hear it? Did you hear what they said?" And I said, "Yeah." She was like, I told them. And I remember having that conversation with you. And what did I say? Follow your heart.
Yeah. Do
Do what you want to do. And to know that you heard me and it changed your mind and you were like, I'm going to follow my heart. And you don't understand, man, how that made me feel. It really, no idea. How that made me feel. So yes, it did. It took a minute, but we there. And I had to learn your language. I couldn't speak to Kyla the same way that I speak to Kirsten. And you learn that as a parent, but I didn't know that because I was new with this. It's new to me. I had to love someone else's children, and in turn, someone else's children had to love me. That's not easy for either of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Leslie, you would say that being a bonus parent to the two of them helped you in parenting your biological children?
Yes. You guys were like the prerequisite.
The guinea pigs.
No. You
The test dummies.
This is so important for our listeners and our viewers. And I mean this, Carter and Cooper are my sons biologically, but Kirsten and Kyla are my children from the heart. They prepared me for Carter and Cooper. And that's really big because I didn't have that. And I didn't think I was capable of it. I was terrified of not knowing if I could be effective with somebody else's children, right? So in that, y'all got to understand when you are getting into a blended situation, love those kids because you may have not birthed them. But if they live in your heart, it really does not matter. They are the prerequisites to everything else that comes along the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought they were going to cry. Now I'm getting emotional. This is so crazy.
Right.
But guys,
we knew who was going to cry.
Because I am the emotional one. But, so I hope, listening guys, that I'm really going to tap more into Kirsten and Kyla because I really want them to take over. But I hope this is one episode that is really empowering for you all, that I hope you guys are sitting, listening as a family together because it's so important. Because people look at blended and they try to give it such a bad stereotype, and it doesn't have to be. But if we listen and view things through the eyes of our children, they'll open our eyes and our hearts to things we never expected. So with that, follow us. Follow us, y'all, on My Dope Blend Podcast. And of course, on I Am the Bonus Club and on TikTok and of course on YouTube. And we're going to go right back into it with the girls. Because even though we talk about how great things, were, and even, the, initial tension that we dealt with, Kyla, I noticed something with you, Kirsten, and I want to focus on that because I think you guys play two different roles when it came to dealing with blended. You being the oldest and Kyla being the youngest. And your dad and I used to talk about this. I feel like you carried the heaviest load. Even though you and I got along very well, I think you carried the load of, I really like her, but my mom, how do I handle this? Do you remember moments that you used to just cry and you didn't know why?
Yeah.
But can you tell our viewers in the audience about it and how you dealt with that? Do you remember that?
I remember dealing, going back and forth between you and my mom. And one thing I really remember is that I would go to my mom, and if something that you did, I would be like, yeah, my dad did this and this and this.
So you would have to basically lie.
We still do that. We still do that.
Now you hearing this right? Let's just be honest. So
it's more open. Obviously, it's more open now because I feel like I've gotten so used to it, and I kind of know how to deal with her.
Mm-hmm.
But at the beginning, I was like, because it was also hard over there. Because everybody was going through it, but she didn't handle it very well. So talking to her wasn't easy. Being around her in general wasn't easy. And I love my mom to death. And we have our own connection, but having to go from one place to the other and basically not be able to share with her all of the good things that you were doing and having to say oh yeah, we didn't do anything. Or we did this with our dad. It was just what are we doing here?
It was unfair.
Yeah.
So to kids that are experiencing that, because what you're saying right now is that you had to give a facade to your reality to cover your mother's feelings, to protect her feelings. What would you say to a child that's doing that exact same thing right now?
I would probably say it gets better and it's going to be hard at first, but be open because it's so hard to go back and forth and have to figure out what you said this time and what you said last time. It takes too much energy to do that. So be open. It's gonna be a tough conversation and they might not like what you're saying and you might hate yourself a little bit. But it's so much easier to just get through it that way by just being open and honest.
Kyla, did you feel the same way?
Yes, definitely.
Guys, did you see his face? Yes.
Yes. I still do that. If I'm going, I think I did that the other day. If I'm talking to my mom,
mm-hmm.
and I say tell her a story that happened or something that you said, but
mm-hmm.
I say, yeah, my dad, he said, my dad, he took us to knowing that you took us.
Yeah.
Because I don't want her. It's not that I don't want to hear her mouth, but I don't want her. Even though that she says that she doesn't care, I don't want her to hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
So you're still empathy.
Yeah. So you're
or sympathetic. Right?
So you're at the place that I was, and still sometimes I'm there. I still empathize with her and feel like I have to protect her feelings, and she don't even know I'm doing it.
Her feelings, and she has her feelings get hurt hard. So I think that didn't make it easier. Like when her feelings are hurt, you're gonna know it.
Mhm.
And so you're gonna feel bad.
Okay. So, Dad,
Mhm.
to hear them say that, you talked to me about empathy
Mhm.
and how time should
Mhm.
allow us to move on from that. But
Mhm.
Kyla just told us
Right.
that she still does it. Basically, they both told us
Well,
that they still.
correct. And see, that's the scary part.
Mhm.
That's the scary part of that's the scary part of how a situation is handled initially will affect how it goes in the long run. Right? Because it's understandable where your mom was. Just looking at it from a what's the word I want to use? The terminology that they use when people get divorced is the leaver and the leavee.
Babe, I see your eyes glassy.
I'm not
Okay. All right.
They ain't. There's no emotion in your daughter.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There's the leaver and then there's the leavee.
Yeah.
Right. That's.
And this is important for people to hear.
Okay. So in my situation, and that's like not a shady term. That's the terminology that they use. At least they did. At the time of our divorce, they used the terminology of leaver and leavee. Right. So in our situation, because it was me that initiated the divorce and shared that I was the one that desired to have a divorce, I was considered the leaver because she was the one that did not, go for the divorce. She was considered the leavee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the leaver is normally emotionally ahead because they've already, in most cases, checked out.
Mm-hmm.
They're already at a place of getting over it, moving on with life. And okay, so then the leavee is the one that is now having to heal and deal with the divorce and the mourning the divorce and the mourning the relationship and the grief of it all, right? So because I was the leaver, I was in a more healthy place. Now, I was not in a good financial place. but I was in a better, healthy place, right? Because to an extent, because I had to heal from some stuff too, which is what led to the divorce, right? Okay, but your mom was in a place of, she was the leavee, so she was dealing with that, the heartbreak of it all. So, as I always say, it's not necessarily right or wrong; it's best. I'm sure she handled the situation the best way she knew how, right? The only issue with that is she trained them on how to treat her.
Oh.
So y'all still treat her the way you treated her in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's truth to that. For me, I'll say, I feel like there's truth to that. But there also has been a growth because in the beginning, I was very cautious. It was like I was walking on eggshells constantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like now at this point, I'm not going to say I don't care because that's my mother and I care.
Absolutely.
But at this point, I'm like, okay.
Well, you're in a place of it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. And I get that. But I'm just saying that. And I think what I'm saying is more so to Kyla's point of her still shielding, still covering up.
But I think
still
as a child and your mom, you always will have that though.
Right. But all I'm saying, the point I'm making is that I'm sure that there has been growth, right? But we can attest to that there's been growth.
Definitely.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is the only point I'm making is based on what Kyla just said, this is not even specifically to them. This is in general. Based on what Kyla just shared with us, we have to be careful with the way the situation is handled with our children because they develop that as a way of life.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
now here we are, and she's moved on. She's married. She's everything. But Kyla still feels the need because that's the way it always was. Doesn't that make sense? It's just so if we're not careful, that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is if we're not careful, we'll start something that just will perpetuate for
forever.
years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you resolve that? How do you, because something that I always tell the girls, you got to be respectful.
Sure.
And I tell them say what's on your mind, but do
Right.
it in what? A respectful way.
manner.
Because I agree with you. At some point, they are adults, now. They are truly young ladies, yes. And that they should be able to have that open dialogue that I think we all share here. And it doesn't feel good all the time. I told them just the other day how I sometimes have cried, after conversations to myself, but you got to hear it.
Yeah.
You got to hear it. So at what point do you feel that comfort to say, I can't lie no more?
Well, communication is key. Do you all feel like y'all could have?
No.
Okay.
I do.
You do?
Well, good. See?
Why don't you
I don't.
feel like you can?
Because it would be me talking.
True.
Yeah. It would be us, me talking, you talking. We talk to each other. But
Nothing will come out.
there would be no response.
Okay.
So why do it?
But I feel like that's her way of taking it in. And
But you could
she'll go talk to her husband about it. Internalize it. Process it.
Okay.
So you just said something. You said she'll talk to her husband? Okay. So guys, just so you know, the girls not only have me as a bonus parent, but now they have a bonus father, dad, who came into their lives 2 years ago or 3?
3
years ago, while they were still in high school, which is to me at a difficult stage for kids to accept a new person. And I think it was you and your mom, your mom for 13 or 12 years, 13 years before he came in the picture. So, you're already protecting that dynamic with me and your mom. Did you ever feel like you had to do a protection between your dad and your bonus dad?
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Really?
Kyla, this is so good. I'm interested.
Kyla,
I'm intrigued.
What?
I
Go
really want to know.
ahead.
For real. This is great.
Well,
How so?
when we were in the car and I was talking about buying a Christmas gift it was either Christmas or Mother's Day. And I was telling my mom, I was like, yeah, can you help me buy a gift for my dad? Or it was something along those lines. And then my mom's husband, said to me in private, like, you need to ask me for help because you don't see how that makes your mom feel. And she was just telling me that it was making her feel bad if I was asking another person for help or asking her to help me buy you a gift. That's what it was. I was asking her to help me buy you a gift, and then you got mad.
Got it. But do you think, based on what you're saying, though, he wasn't mad at you asking to buy something for me. He was just mad at you asking your mom. He felt like you shouldn't be asking her to buy something
because
for
he
me.
was like, if it's the other way around, that you don't help buy her a gift.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Okay. All right. I get it.
Okay. So that is something that's interesting because, we know the dynamic of you would help them purchase a gift for their mom. And back in the day, your mom would do the same for you all for your dad. So where did that you see how the change happens when there's a new person in the mix, because your mom felt some kind of way, would then in turn made him feel some kind of way, would then in turn made you feel some kind of way. So did you feel, was there a feeling of, that's my dad?
Yeah, I was like, in the car, like when we were talking about it, I was like, I didn't even think anything of it. Like, because I usually ask him.
Mm-hmm.
But then he made me feel bad about it.
Wow. So as we're peeling the layers back, which is good because it allowed Greg, to see something or hear something that, he didn't realize it affected Kyla to the point that it did. So I hope this is good for you guys, because it's good for me. And, even in little things like that, we have to be careful of how we respond to our children, especially with something that is a normal pattern. When it changes, the shift may change instantly for us, but you have to prepare children for that. You can't expect them to adapt as quickly as you can, because you are the adult, they are the child. So you have to think about those things and really put those into practice in all types of situations when you're handling kids. So guys, once again, as you're listening, be a part of this blended family community. I want to hear from you all. I want to actually hear from your children, because in that it will allow our kids to be a light to yours. So definitely, follow us on IG, at My Dopeland podcast, and at I Am the Bonus Club, at TikTok, YouTube. It will be great for the girls to hear responses from your kids and be able to be that ear to them, and give a level of advice. Sometimes helping someone else helps you, right? Right? When y'all agree? Mm-hmm. All right. So with that, now we hear how you felt, Colin. I think that's good. I think it's very good, to be honest. So now that you all both have bonus parents on both sides, do you feel like the experience with your mom has lightened up a little bit because she does have someone?
Yeah. It was a drastic switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
It kind of went from like
all up in our business.
Yeah, to not
never
at all.
Well, I guess there's a benefit to that, though.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens when a woman falls in love.
Yeah. It was like, asking all these questions in school, and I'm here 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 and I'm here, and then it was like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch a movie with him now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I just want to spend time with him today.
So that was a drastic switch for you all with her, and I'm sure it was a drastic switch for her with you all, period, and him. Do you think with your dad and I, do you feel like we included you all more into our dynamic? Did you ever feel left out?
No, but I think it was different because of how young we were. It was
okay.
kind of like, we can't be left at home. Like, we don't have our own car.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have our own jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And like, y'all kind of had to include us.
Yeah,
you had to. And then they got married when I was about to graduate high school.
Yeah.
I had a car. I had a job. I was going here and I was doing
so you were
that.
more independent.
You could.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be around us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So basically, we had the harder.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm only kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we did. If you think about it, we did. We were more of, like I said earlier, we grew together.
Mm-hmm.
Now fast forward to that, we grew and then we grew for real, because now you guys have little brothers,
My little buddies.
Yeah. Little best friends.
You know how I was, before, when we got pregnant, my thing was I was so nervous Y'all wanted a boy so bad. Oh my God.
That's a different podcast.
That's a different podcast story, everything.
Because it was unhealthy.
It was unhealthy how bad I wanted a boy, yes.
So that would have been an interesting gender reveal.
But let me share a secret. Let me share a secret. Because the girls, I think, know this because I've shared it with them, but I want to share it with the viewers. So I have always wanted a son. It was just one of the things I prayed for when I was a little girl, believe it or not. But when I got with Greg and he had two daughters, Kyla and Greg are very close because they have this. Greg is close with both his girls, but Kyla and Greg have this connection. They love to laugh, they joke, especially when she was smaller, laugh, joke. And he is Kyla's biggest cheerleader. You hear me? Okay, I'm going to come to Kyla's rescue. If nobody else going to do it, I'm going to do it because I know what my child could do.
All right.
That's him. Okay. So in that, I remember one time we played like, okay, what if we had a baby? We going to have a little girl. Kyla, y'all got so upset. Do you remember that, Kirsten? We were at church. We were at church.
That.
You remember
that?
that?
We were in the basement or something.
Yep, we were in the basement or something. That thing started crying.
Yes, I definitely
She
do
got so upset with us with the thought of her dad having another little girl around. That stuck with me.
It was also the was it April Fool's prank?
Yeah, it was an April Fool's prank. That thing stuck with me so that I was like, God, just like I felt with their mom, I felt with them. You cannot give me a daughter because I didn't think they could handle it. Because one thing that was stuck with me was they're not in the house every day with their dad. They don't have that opportunity to see him every day, wake up to him, go to bed to him. They only see him on their weekends or when we have, recitals to go to or pickups or things like that. So to have a little girl love on him and be with him and wake up to him and go to bed to him, and that's something that was taken away from them, what would that do to them? Was it not my feeling?
That was your feeling.
I really said that, Lord.
And oh my God.
What? And so I prayed. I prayed like crazy to the point when I sonograms, I thought I saw girl. And I was like, all you do is make girls. Because I was so upset. Because all of my emotions were
It's true.
All of my emotions was in it.
Yes.
I didn't want that because I didn't want I was not really concerned, Kirsten, with your feeling. It was Kyla. I did not want her feelings to be hurt.
I believe it.
Because
I just didn't want another little sister.
I didn't think she could handle it. So with that, we're here. We got the boys. We are truly a family. Like we've created our own dynamic, and we're still evolving, right? Don't y'all feel like that? We're still evolving. So how do you guys feel like where we are now from where we were then to where we are now? How do you all feel? And what would you tell your viewers and listeners?
But in what aspect?
As a blended family, we've had roller coasters, and I don't necessarily, when I say roller coasters, let me be frank and honest. It wasn't blowouts and things like that. We've never experienced that.
Only time was when I dropped that nail polish.
Oh my God, that's another
She's
story.
already told that story.
I did. But because I told Kirsten I was disappointed.
She couldn't wait
it
to
was
tell
like
that story. She couldn't wait to tell it.
Anyway, but how do you all feel now? Where you are truly adults now. You got a soon to be 19-year-old, 18-year-old.
Can I add meat to that question?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'd like to know, as your father, having 2 additional children, have you all ever felt like the weight was off?
Yes.
Oh,
really?
I like to hear that.
I like to hear that.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's so different for us versus them. Like Michelle said, we don't get to see you every day.
Mm-hmm.
The boys do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think they'll really ever get going to the library and having to play on the games because that's all we could do.
Wow.
Or just going to the movies and you'd be asleep.
Oh no, I think that
Kirsten,
they'll go
they
do
get
that.
that.
They'll go do that.
First of all.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like you're in such a different place that I feel like they're going to have a lot of different opportunities and they're going to be raised in such different ways that I'm kind of just like, wow, that might be that, must be nice.
They're going to be living lavish now.
Oh my
God. Really?
So we grew up not lavish. We grew up.
Okay.
I want to hit on something you just said. They're going to be raised in a different way.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? And I don't mean do you mean from, the things that they do or the way we raise them as individuals? What do you mean?
I mean the way that y'all are going to raise them.
Elaborate.
As parents.
Also in a 2-parent home.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Having both parents consistently. Because I don't think y'all are going to.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all are kind of together forever. But you're just such a different, you have such a different personality than my mom. And like for us, my mom is not really an emotional person. She's not really a physical touch person. She's kind of like, just put some ice on it, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh my God, are you guys okay? And you guys are going to kindergarten. And like, that's different.
Yeah.
It's not that lovey-dovey talk about your feelings. Because we didn't
get a wake up in the morning, wait for you at the bus stop, get your lunch.
No. I mean, that, like, also what she does, she couldn't really do that.
Yeah.
But just personality-wise.
Yeah.
But perspective is a big thing though, because to that point, and this in no way takes away from what you're saying, but if I could add a different perspective, because of the personality difference, even if your mom and I had stayed together, you may not have gotten that experience.
No, I know.
But you would have had but you guys would have had a 2-parent home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you would have had me.
Consistently.
24/7.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the other day, we were sitting on the couch and I was just looking at the way Dad talks to Carter and Cooper. I'm like, wow. It's so different. It's I don't know, it just seems, maybe because you've never had boys and because you can relate to them, maybe.
Wow.
So I don't know.
So you feel like I talk to them from a more proud place or something? Like, what do you think?
I don't know. Was I in there when I said to you, like, my boy? Not that moment. Was it? Okay. Because Lord knows.
I mean, there is a difference. Their boys were girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like we got the more. They get the more. This is my boys. This is what they're going to do.
That's a different one, son.
This is what they're going to do. Just wait till they. And for us, it's like,
Well, that's a boy girl thing.
It is.
Which is I don't like. That's why I'm not like.
Sure.
The way you talk to us is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
What's interesting though is that from my perspective, I remember when y'all were the boys' age. For me, from my perspective, I gained a better relationship with the two of you post-divorce. Because there's a part of me that you all never knew, being in a home with your mom, married to your mom. And because you all were so young, you didn't see the tumultuous moments that we had, and your mom was extremely protective of you guys, overly protective of you guys, and still, right? I remember when y'all were younger, and I've always had a rigorous schedule, always gone to rehearsals, always been in church for hours, and always traveled, always, right? I remember when you guys were babies or toddlers. And in order for me to try to give your mom a break, I would say, I'll take them with me to the church. I'll take them, and she didn't necessarily want that for whatever reason. She may not have wanted a lot of people around y'all. She may have felt like I wouldn't be able to give y'all the attention that I needed to give y'all because once I'm in a zone, I'm in a zone. I can respect that. But I didn't have that. So a lot of times it was, nope, you go. You go. You go. Okay, then when your mom and I got a divorce, when I had y'all, it was me and y'all.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice, right? I would go to Walmart and get y'all the dresses and tie them up at the shoulders.
That was terrible.
And I would braid your hair.
That was terrible.
And I would fix that Alfredo.
Yep. With the twisty bread.
With the twisty bread. And I would pack it up. And y'all would take showers. And I would put do-rags on y'all head because I didn't know how to tie a scarf. And we would go to the church. And y'all would sit over on the side and eat your dinner, play games, and I would have my rehearsal. And that became a way of life.
And that was your thing. That was your moment.
I was single dad.
Yeah.
And so y'all were young though. So, and then as y'all started getting older, then Miss L came along. So you guys got a chance to see the dynamic of me in a relationship and a 2-parent situation. And so when y'all would come over by us, you were in before this was post-marriage. So when y'all would come to the house after we got married,
oh Jesus,
and we would all be one big happy family, I can't imagine what it would have been like for me to grow up in a house that wasn't a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
Right.
And that explains a lot. And I wish, honestly, this is going to be a part 2. And I think we're going to have to go live a little bit with this some more because there's so much more to kind of dig into. This is good. Because I'm glad you went there because that's also a dynamic in of itself. You came from a 2-parent household. I did as well. Their household was broken, but their mother experienced brokenness because her household was broken. So generation affects generation. And then we could go so deep with that. But guys, I wish we had more time with the girls. I promise you, because this is good. Girls, have you enjoyed your time?
It was great.
Do you guys want to come back?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you guys should. I think this should be something that we do every season and kind of talk with you all and get an opportunity to kind of see where you all are in life and just talk about your journey, right? Mm-hmm. And what you guys are dealing with and how you guys can help other kids in that situation, right? Okay. So guys, thank you all for listening. Babe, what do you think of the situation? What do you think of the talk today with the girls?
I think it was great.
I do too. I think
there's so much more though.
Oh, there's so much more. And I hope you guys let me know, guys, if you want to hear more from us. And in that, there will be a part 2 and we'll figure out when we're going to do that part 2, but we'll do something live too and allow you guys to ask Kirsten and Kyla some questions. Okay. Or allow your kids to ask you to ask them some questions. So once again, guys, you subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Follow us on all IG platforms. You have the My Dope Blend podcast, and you also have I Am the Bonus Club, and you can follow us on TikTok. And eventually, I will allow you guys to see Kirsten and Kyla on their pages and see their lives, as we have a marine biologist. We have a videographer that's going to be helping us do this, right?
And if I could jump in very quickly too, what you just had the opportunity to see was for us to take an assessment here live on, so you could do the same thing. Mm-hmm. You can go to our website and there's an assessment there that you can take and see where you might be in your blending journey. See if there are some things that expose themselves that you weren't aware of. Yeah. And you can take that assessment, kind of see where you are, and that'll kind of help you to reach out to us and let us know, okay, I didn't realize that this was going on. Yeah. Maybe you can help us with this. And so that's something that you could do on our website. And also you can jump on that wait list and get prepared for this new book that's coming out by my wife.
Oh my God.
Leslie Cooper Kirkland, My Dope Blend.
All right. So that is the end of season 1. But in that, I will also be putting some posts on about different tools you guys can do as icebreakers to have these type of conversations with your children. Guys, thank you all so much for listening, becoming a part of our blended community. We love you guys. We hope you guys stay with us and keep blending. Peace out.
When one person and another come together, we are blending.
Blending. Wow.